Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Pony Montana, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to shut down tight formations or the big problem with tight formations in Madden 23. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment down below anything you guys might want to see on the channel. This was something that was recommended, so I figured I'd drop it because it's a certain way that quote unquote pro players shut down these corner routes and people who are spamming these deep corner situations. Now, FTA for the algorithm, yada yada yada. Let's get right into it, man. We're gonna be coming out in it doesn't really matter the defense that you come out in, but I always recommend that you come out in a defense that you guys can send pressure out of, because it's just gonna help your defense out tremendously. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna come out in match zone coverage. I turn on match every single time I come out on defense. Honestly, like, I turn on match. Now, obviously, in the game, it's not even an obvious thing, but most people don't know, but like this kind of messes up, and it doesn't actually mess up, it just looks like it messes up. Like, if you go up to there, it'll change back to default. But I like to turn on my match, and then I like to set my flats to a 0 to 5, and then my curl flats, I like to set them up to around the 25 or the 20. And the reasoning for that, and this is only if I'm facing a tight formation, I'm going to be coming out in nickel 3-3 cub, because this is the current defense that I'm running, but I audible out of nickel 3-3. So you guys can replicate this the way that you guys want to, but you can pretty much run it out of anything. But the reasoning that I come out in this is because I can sit there and have multiple DBs on the field, because I have Harold Carmichael up top, then I put Ronnie Lott here, and now I have Hitman here, I got Brian Dawkins here, and then I have the rest of my defense there, and then I go into here and I change one of these audibles into a cover 4. Now, I'm going to be maining cover 4 when it comes to the situation, and the first thing that you guys are going to want to do is you guys are going to want to pretty much see where the wide side of the field is, or the short side of the field, because that's going to determine where certain people are running their corner routes. Now, I call cover 4, and one of the main things that I do is I base align press. Okay, I want my corners all the way out here. I don't want them pressed inside where these wide receivers are going to end up getting over the top, because that's going to frustrate me, and it's going to make it so that I have a hard time stopping anything on defense. Now, the next thing that I like to do now for gun tight offset specifically, this is a gun tight offset specific video because of this play right here. This is one of the best plays in the game, simply because of the amount of things that you can do with this route is insane. And for some reason, he just ends up beating. Now, granted, he didn't end up beating him there, but I think that's because of my base align press. But he just ends up beating a bunch of routes, especially if you're in man coverage or anything like that. You end up getting frustrated because that person ends up winning that over the top situation, and it gets very, very frustrating. Now, the way that I lock this up, now granted, you can come out and lock this up just like this, but sometimes you end up having a situation where they end up going down underneath and they end up hitting their flats. And once that happens, you either need your route KO, your zone KO, or something to happen to benefit you in a way that's going to help you stop these specific routes. Now, a couple ways that I like to stop these plays is, instead of leaving this guy here in a deep zone, I change him into a deep half, and this is going to work against a lot of corner routes. Then I already have my quarter flat up here, and then I'm going to take one of these guys and put them in a hard flat. Now, all of a sudden, that left side is going to be completely shut down, and there's going to be a thing that they can do to pretty much get a route going that way. So if we throw it to square, Ronnie Lott's there. And this is one of the reasons why I think Cub is one of the best formations, one of the best defensive formations in the game, simply because of the amount of things that you can do in it. So again, we have the deep blue safety here, and then we change this guy into a flat. Two simple steps is going to be enough to shut down the entirety of this offense, pretty much. Now, the only thing that you guys are going to have to guard mainly is if they run like bench to the right side, and then that's obviously like a whole different ball game that you guys have to go over with yourself, and I'll make a separate video on that if you guys want me to. But the main gist of shutting down corner routes, especially on these super heavy deep corner sides, is simply having that deep blue out there and then pretty much being able to shut everything down. As you can see, the play is completely shut down. And one of the main setups for this play that a lot of people, and I posted this on the channel as well, one of the main setups for this play, and before I go over this, let me showcase the instant replay. Everything on this right side completely clamped up. We're completely selling out to pretty much shut down any type of crazy deep corner route that's in the game essentially. But everything else is pretty much clamped. Now, one of the main setups for this play, and I'm actually going to back the ball up a little bit just so we can get better understanding of how crazy this play can actually be, is this play right here. And I've posted before that this is a complete zone destroyer. You can't run zone against this, but obviously with this setup, with this defensive setup, you're going to be able to clamp this up. And I'm actually going to take these guys and put them in spy so they don't actually go crazy here. So right here, square, there's not enough space for you to actually throw that pass. And I'm actually going to showcase the replay on that because that left side is completely clamped up. Even if they ended up having a drag coming across the field, because we put a quarter there, it takes him a little bit longer for him to actually guard this. Now, granted, he could have possibly overthrown a high ball here. And actually, you know what, just to showcase so you guys don't think that that actually works, we're going to set this up and actually throw the high ball here. We're gonna throw the high ball over the top, just so you guys can see. And I have some of the best receivers in the game. So if this high ball doesn't work, then it's just not gonna work for anybody. Carmichael is actually a little bit slower compared to my receivers, so the fact that he's still keeping up is going to be enough. But again, that was a little bit shaky, so we're going to go ahead and audible and do it one more time so you guys can see that it actually does work. Now, another thing that you guys can do, it's a little bit extra, but you can change the packages to actually put this guy in an outside third instead of a deep half. But the deep half helps guard routes that are coming towards the inside here. Like this guy will be able to react to some of the plays that are going up the middle of the field. So let's run that play one more time, because this is honestly one of the main setups for this play, is running it just like this, because you can quick hike it. And that's the beauty and one of the struggles of stopping this play, is being able to quick hike it. So again, boom, we got triangle, and we're going to try to highball this. And as you can see, he's right there. He's right there to guard that. And it's going to be such a deep throw, such a hard throw to make, that a lot of the times your guy's going to end up being there to pretty much swat it. Now, one thing that you guys can do is you guys don't have to press, by the way. You guys can just base a line. But if you guys are not pressing, make sure that your guys have like some kind of zone KO, whether it be medium zones, deep out zone, medium route KO. If you are not pressing your defense, because your team might not be as good, or your players might be a little bit slower, you are going to have to make sure that you guys are not pressing, because just like this Carmichael situation where he looks like you can kind of throw this pass, it's simply because Harold Carmichael isn't as fast as this Andre Reed. So this Andre Reed is simply just burning him over the top. Now, granted, our zone KO is going to end up knocking this pass out if he does try to make if he does have the ability to make a play here. But obviously you don't want to rely on that too much, and that's just going to be something that's going to frustrate you a lot when it comes to this play. But again, this play right here, again, if you guys want to run this play, this is honestly one of the best plays in the game, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and oh, I actually just messed this up, but let me change him into a seam flat and I'll put him there. So again, same situation, but I just want to showcase that you guys can. It's a risky throw. It's a risky throw to throw it, because you do have to wait. But as you can see, look at there's nothing you can do on that specific route. Nothing you can do on that specific route. You got your purple going up and matching on that person. So let me showcase the replay on that. You got your purple matching up on him, completely clamping that up, and you're praying for a perfect high ball pass here every single time. Other than that, there's nothing in this formation that goes too crazy to the point where you can't guard these routes. And this is with 2 separate adjustments. So it's not like you're taking a ton of time to sit there and make sure that your players are going crazy here. You're simply making 2 separate adjustments. And obviously, if you want, instead of a quarter flat, you can put him in a seam flat. That's actually what he was just on and why he was so clamped up there. So again, seam flat there. And then JJ Watt goes crazy. But as you can see, everything is pretty much clamped up. And this is the main play in gun tight offset. This is how you shut this formation down and take people completely out of their game, because this is their main play. They're going to sit there and main this play and nonstop try to go for this route every single time. And this is going to work against a lot of different formations. The gun tight variation, you're simply going to swap the play and make sure that the cornerback is on the right side instead of being on the left. And that's going to change up the entire play as well. Hopefully this video helps you stop those gun tight offset runners. And it's one of the reasons that I kind of like to hop in different playbooks, because I know once people learn how to stop the meta, then obviously you have to learn how to switch up your offenses and, utilize different things that you guys are, that your opponent might not know is coming. This is something that everybody should know is coming whenever they see gun tight offset. And this is exactly how you pretty much go by stopping it. Now, if I hop into a different play like bench, it'll be the same result, by the way. It's not really gonna change. So we got the same thing. We got the same exact thing. We got our 3 down linemen being sent, and pretty much everything is covered except for O. O is the only thing that was not covered. That's literally it. Everything else is pretty much clamped up, and there's not much that your opponent's going to be able to do against that. And that's going to frustrate them, because obviously if you see bench, your user has to go and guard somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, but if you notice that these guys are running bench, your user has to dart one way or dart this way, dart that way, dart that way, dart that. He has to go somewhere to guard these routes, because you're not going to leave anything. You're not going to leave anything open, pretty much. You're going to make sure that your user is pretty much utilizing whatever he possibly can. So one more time. Oh, this was the same exact play here. And by the time anything happens, our milkman is milking the quarterback. Super pause. That's going to be it for this video, you guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video, because this is something that a lot of people struggle with, is stopping formations like this. And this is going to help out whether you guys are facing corner routes. It doesn't matter what it is. This is going to help you guys out. My name is Pony Montana. I will see you guys in the next video, man. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.